Every fucking beat demolished when I snap its fucking game.
Okay, yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a slightly different video, as is the prominent theme on this ever-changing channel. But this video is going to be all about who I think is the best team in Europe right now, and it's going to be between the four teams who you can see on your screen right now, but I'll mention them once just to be clear. So the four teams I'm going to be talking about in this video are going to be Bayern Munich, the Champions League winners, Man United, the Premier League table toppers as things stand, Paris Saint-Germain, the Champions League finalists, and Manchester City, who are one of the most informed sides in Europe right now. Now, without further ado, let's get started. And I just need to put a disclaimer. All of these are my opinion. You are completely entitled to disagree with every single one of them. They're just my opinion. I don't expect anyone to have even close to the same opinions as me, but I believe this and that's why I'm portraying it. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Now, the first team I'm going to be talking about is Bayern Munich. And there are multiple reasons why one can believe why Bayern Munich are the best team in the world. I mean, let's be real. They're top of the Bundesliga. They beat PSG in the Champions League final in August. So what's to say they're not the best team? And while all of those are fair arguments, and I completely agree with all of them, it's hard to look past Bayern Munich, honestly speaking. It is very hard. They've scored 48 goals, conceded 25. However, 36 points from 16 games, it's not something you typically associate with Bayern Munich. You expect them to be with 40 plus at this stage. But they're only a minimum, a maximum of 4 points clear of second place Leipzig, who have played the same amount of games with them. And they're only I know 7 points seems a lot, but it really isn't. That's only 2 games where either they draw or lose, and they'd only be 7 points clear of Borussia Dortmund, who are horribly out of form in terms of not just on the field, but there's off the field issues with their coach Lucien Favre getting sacked, and there is a bit of a tentativeness about Bayern, if that makes sense. There is a little bit of a will they or can they factor with Bayern Munich right now, and to elaborate on that, Bayern Munich are looking much more beatable, and the fact that they've conceded more goals than all of the top 6 sides in the Bundesliga, I think a lot is showing what I'm talking about, and it's showing us underlying and alarming statistics for their defense, and that is Bayern Munich are having a problem in high pressing. It's very simple. Even last year when they won the Champions League, there were games against Lyon, they pressed highly. In the first 10 minutes, Lyon should have been 2-0 up. Lyon should have taken 2 chances, Neuer saved them, and they won the game 3-0, so nobody's going to talk about them. Even against Barca didn't exploit it as much as they needed to, neither did PSG in my opinion. But Lyon showed us why Bayern Munich's high press is breachable. If you take a chance against Bayern Munich, you can easily beat this team. They are 100% a beatable team. And this video is being recorded just after they scraped past Freiburg on the weekend. And this is off the back of back-to-back losses as a coach for the first time under Hansi Flick. And the cracks are appearing. And there was a game a couple of weeks ago against Mainz where they went 2-0 down. And while they won the game 5-2, I think all that does is hide the problem. The last time Bayern Munich kept a clean sheet in the league was all the way back in October of last year. That is crazy. We're almost in February, and that's the last time Bayern Munich kept a clean sheet. That's my problem. The fact that they're not keeping enough clean sheets means that eventually they're gonna let in more goals than they can stop. And if I'm looking back now, they've only kept 2 clean sheets in the whole year, in the whole season so far, which is stupendously bad in the Bundesliga only, by the way. I'm not talking about Champions League because their group was fairly easy. It was only Atletico Madrid, and while Atletico are top of La Liga, they've been poor in the Champions League, which is why they're not on this list for me. And that's the thing with Bayern Munich. To just sum it up quickly before moving on to my next team, I think that Bayern Munich, while they are one of the best in the world and they will be favourites for the Champions League, I don't see them winning the Champions League this year. Not with not with PSG and Man City looking reborn again. And speaking of Man City, we can swiftly move on to Pep Guardiola's men. And it's been a resurgent season, to say the least, for Pep's men. They've looked reborn, revitalized. Ever since they've done some tactical tweak has taken place in this midfield, which has allowed Gundogan the license to roam forward. And I'm recording this again after the Palace game, where Man City played some football that was out of this world. They thumped Crystal Palace, and Gundogan was at the heart of that game. He was excellent. He scored one of the best goals you will ever see. Not ever see, but it was a very good finish. And Raheem Sterling with a classy free kick. And Man City they have another gear, which is the worrying thing for most sides. And honestly, I'm struggling to come up with rebuttals against why Man City shouldn't be the best team in the world. Why shouldn't they? Does anybody want to explain to me why Man City shouldn't be the best in the world? Or shouldn't be considered the best in the world? If you're really going to try telling me PSG are the best in the world, the first game of Pochettino, they dropped points. And they've been very scrapey in their games. They've not looked convincing at all, Paris Saint-Germain. While they're on this list for different reasons. But I'll talk about them more later. As for Man City, the best defense in the Premier League by a country mile. John Stones and Ruben Diaz have to be two of the best defenders in the world, if not two of the best, especially given the fact Van Dijk has injury woes and Gomez is not playing enough football. And here's a fun stat for all of you stat nerds. Manchester City have conceded 13 goals in the Premier League. And just in comparison, the second lowest, the team that comes the closest to them is Tottenham, who have conceded 4 more goals than them. And in the Champions League, Man City conceded 1 goal in 6 games. So that means in 6 plus 8, 17 games. So what is that? 23 games of football. These lot have conceded 14 goals and they've scored a whopping 42 goals. That is incredible. That's incredible. I'm struggling to comprehend. That's almost 2 goals a game, and I know 2 goals doesn't seem a lot, but this is for a Man City side who very recently were apparently in a scoring crisis. The one thing is, Man City, the question marks are still there of the attack. While they're beating teams now and they're able to score, there are still a few question marks. Can they do it against when teams are dropping like 10 men behind the ball, such as West Brom? But as for now, I think it's very fair to say Man City should be considered or should be in contention to be the best team in the world. And it's very hard to pick out flaws. This is before the Aston Villa game, so this could age horribly wrong. But if Man City win that Aston Villa game, need I remind you, they got top of the Premier League. I'm just saying, for everybody saying who they were having a crisis season, they've only scored 4 goals less than Liverpool, who are apparently having a stellar season going forward. And need I remind you, but Liverpool scored 7 at Palace. Take out those 7 goals, which was the most lucky. No, sorry, not Liverpool. Sorry, they're 8 goals behind Liverpool, but 7 of them have come against a Palace who were so unlucky to concede 7. So it does a little bit, worry you how if Man City play their game in hand, let's say they beat Aston Villa 3 or 4-0, they would have scored the same amount of goals as Man United, yet conceded 11 less. I don't know, I think they deserve a bit more respect than people are giving them. They also have the joint highest goal difference in the Premier League. So I think they deserve a bit more respect. Excuse me. Now, moving on to Paris Saint-Germain, who are starting to gain a bit of steam under Mauricio Pochettino. PSG are a very talented bunch of players, and the main reason I have them on here is just because of Neymar and Mbappe, if I'm being quite frank, and Moise Kean, who's someone I want to talk about because I think Moise Kean is one of the most underrated players in the world right now. He's found a goal-scoring touch, and he's already scored 10 goals in all competitions, which is just crazy. 11 goals, in all competitions. He's got a couple of assists. He's looking very bright. However, as is the case with PSG, we don't know if they can do it in the big games. And the Barcelona game that is upcoming for PSG is going to be a big test of Mauricio Pochettino's men. Because in the last 2 games, they scraped past Marseille in the Trophée des Champions, and they scraped past Angers through a Lewin Kazarwa bullet, which beat Angers, Esco, who are not the best of sides. So question marks are still there over Mauricio Pochettino, and can he find the balance? But if PSG keep winning, then they could easily win the Champions League again. But as I've said, I don't think that they're the best. And as for the last team, and then I will move on to who I think is the best, Manchester United. Now, I hate Manchester United, and honestly, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be completely unbiased here, but I'm gonna speak complete facts. If you guys think Manchester United are the best team in the world, or even the best team in the Premier League, you must be special. I'm not lying, but the opinion that they're the best team in the world must be the most retarded opinion I've heard in my life. I'm sorry, what are we basing them the best team off of exactly? Does anybody want to tell me why are we basing them the best team off? Why? Because they beat Sheffield United, Leeds, drew to Leicester, scraped past Wolves, a Wolves side who fucking lost 3-2 to West Brom, by the way. They scraped past Aston Villa and they scraped past Burnley. Is that why we're ready to call them the title contenders? They're not even title contenders for me, Manchester United. While they have talent, there is talent, of course, but they're so overrated, Manchester United. And I can get as much hate as I want. I don't care. But they're so overrated, Manchester United. They're arguably the most overrated team I've seen in so long. But to give them a little bit of praise, otherwise I'm going to get killed in the comment section, I think that Bruno Fernandes has been one of their best players. And they've looked good on certain occasions, but again, their record against the Big Six and against RB Leipzig, I'm so sorry. They lost to RB Leipzig. They've drawn with a Leicester side at home. A Leicester side who had picked up 5 points at home, need I remind you. They lost to Manchester City. They scraped past Watford after playing a relatively strong lineup. They scraped past Burnley after playing the strongest 11. They couldn't beat a woefully out-of-form Liverpool. Earlier this season, they drew to Chelsea. They got thumped. They got absolutely thumped by Jose's men. And I just don't think they deserve any of the credit they're getting right now, honestly speaking. And that moves me on to the other side of Manchester, who I briefly touched on in this video. Manchester City, and for me, and I think for a lot of pundits, they're the best team in the world. Full stop. I can't see a team that's better than Manchester City right now. And if any one United fan wants to tell me that Man United are better, we beat you 2-0 like 2 weeks ago. Don't tell me your manager didn't care. We had 7 players missing through COVID, and we still breezed past you like you were. We schooled you, team. We taught you a footballing lesson. So pipe down, just pipe down, Man United fans. I've heard a lot of people say it's the Carabao Cup. Let me ring your bells to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's comments before and after the game. He said that he wanted to win this game against Manchester City. He has said there's no excuses, and I quote, no excuses was said by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He said that he wants to win the trophy. And Manchester United, arguably no, probably yes, fielded their strongest 11 bar maybe Dean Henderson and Victor Lindelof. But again, Victor Lindelof just played against Liverpool, so I don't know about that. They played their strongest 11 bar De Gea, and De Gea could not have done anything in both of the goals. So, and Manchester City, on the other hand, they had to play Zach Steffen. They didn't have Laporte, Aguero, Jesus, Walker. While Aguero and Jesus were on the bench, they could not play due to COVID restrictions. They were there, I think, but we knew they were never going to play. They didn't have Ake or Laporte, and they taught them a footballing lesson. So for me, Manchester City are the best side in Europe. 100%. 100%. 100%. They are the best side in Europe. And Man United, honestly, they're the most overrated bunch of lads I've seen in my entire life. I'm going to go back to that Man United picture just to highlight how overrated Manchester United are. They've scored 1 goal this season against Big Six sides. That's 5 games. No, sorry, that's 6 games in all competitions. Let's do some basic math, shall we, Man United fans, who think you're title contenders off the fact of winning against Burnley, Southampton, and Aston Villa. 90-6, that is approximately 540 minutes of football, while you've scored 1 goal, which was a penalty in a 6-1 drubbing to Spurs. I would pipe down, and I'll catch you guys on Thursday when Manchester City do beat Aston Villa 2 or 3-0. And when they go top, I'll be the one going full Jose and looking for Man United fans because honestly, I won't be able to find any of them. Thank you guys for watching. That was a hella funny video. I'm sure I'm gonna get pressed comments from Man United fans, or I'm gonna have people message me on social media saying, "Oh, you're a disgrace. You don't know what you're talking about." But honestly, just pipe down a little bit and know your place. This is the first time in 7 years you've been top of the league in January. Know your place and stop overhyping your team. Because come the end of the season, I can guarantee you Manchester City or Liverpool are going to win the Premier League.